Hi Earthlings. Right, today is another very hot day in my reality. Now, I'm going to have a go at explaining my notes. So here we go. Uranus, Great Spirit Chief Father, has turned direct, which means Sky Father is facing us, Great Spirit Chief Father. For 6 months of the year, he faces us, and for 6 months of the year, he faces the blue sky of day, where all the souls who are yet to be reincarnated are dreaming the next spirit that they are going to have with them in their physical lifetime on earth. And so anyway, when Great Spirit Chief Father is looking towards us, that's the time that we can make a lot of prayers and supplications or speak directly to him, and of course be answered by him. And for the other 6 months, his back is to us, and he's busy with the yet to be born spirits. Now, okay, so Uranus is the topic, and also I'm incorporating that with what I've been trying to explain to you about how important the House of Capricorn zodiacal is this year, even though things sort of are moving on. The House of Capricorn is the main frame for this 12-month cycle. This is preceding us also into the year of the dragon, so it's all happening. Right, so once more, we're interested in discussing aspirations of healing the environment we live in and investing in our new attitude towards life, gathering once more our internal strength to dedicate our thoughts, our emotions, and our efforts into constructive purposes for the salvation of all lives and all that lives, with compassion and with forgiveness, of living quietly in the midst of problems and dedicating every available resource to the service of humane needs and inward dedication as we go about our mundane jobs in our mundane everyday life. The way of the Buddhist is not about learning to have it all for yourself and to keep it for yourself, but to conquer the selfishness inside our egoic state of mind and accept the truth of the world with compassion for all that lives and serve the great cause of support and kindness for living creatures. There is no time to worry about mistakes. We have all sinned and none of us are perfect. The time has come to leave them behind and do what is next for the salvation of the environment you are in with diligence. So that's the environment that you live in. That's the environment outside of you. And this is also speaking to the environment as in the trees and nature, our earth. Salvation doesn't have to be glamorous or change the destiny of the universe. It is an individual proving that in the place that you are in, you are attaining victory over your fears, animosities, antagonisms, false ambitions, greed, or jealousy. The future is only as good as you are, or as difficult as you are now. It is within our power to change them. We do so, and what we cannot change, we endure with spiritual insight. We have all come to live with the consequences of our conduct and the conduct of others. We will get angry, disillusioned, and disappointed, but we must never build on this or wallow here. We must step ourselves above it in faith. Faith is the source of strength that is greater than ourself, that power great enough to lead us to the fulfillment of our life's journey. The mystic within ourselves that rises us up above the level we are on into the field of service and integration, forgiveness and self-sacrifice once more. Faith in our Creator, the supreme power. The minute we strengthen our inner resources of character, they grow rather rapidly. The first step is always difficult, but each improvement in ourself is reflected by a betterment inspired by a common misery. There's going to be a lot of that going on. We are all looking for the answers to the things that hurt, for cures to physical ailments, for cures to moral and emotional stress and vice. The only answer is to forget and forgive, to love and to care, to use and transmute the energy from ill will to goodwill. To transform grudges and get them out of your system is to become richer from the injury. Dissolving the grievance becomes the wealth of experience. We strengthen our own inner insight. We are not expected to endure the impossible, but we are expected to learn how to rise above it. Because there is now something in us that is of great benefit to other people, it's in our understanding and our tolerance and our kindness that is grown from the harmful, disruptive, painful, traumatic experience, and you go out into life in a better condition. There is a pattern to your purpose, a new foundation to your character. Integrity has become more real, more vital, and more valuable. Understanding this helps us escape the snares of entrapment that beset most people. Ambition is not a virtue. Aspiration is the virtue. Aspiration helps you build a treasure that moths can't destroy and time can't erode. To leave this world a better human being than you were when you started, with no intention to discourage or disparage or hurt another person as you level up in earnest. Remember, there will always be an adversary, an enemy, more deadly than a virus. Adversaries are full of bitterness and jealousy, and they bring conflicts and unhappiness. They are like a disease, eroding our mental and emotional health, affecting us physically. We do not let toxicity build up within us. We don't think we can try to be tolerant of it. It's like celiac disease or lactose disease. We eliminate, we avoid the toxicity, and we regulate what we take in, because as we already know, it's not worth it. Not mentally, not emotionally, not physically. We will still have our very own earthquakes and volcanic eruptions and floods within us, upon us, because we are like a little solar system. We have our own planets affecting us, we have our elements dominating us, and our inner reality we believe in, and these are all constantly forming patterns, and when we depart from our mortal body, our everlasting life begins. The only business relationship we're really in is with the afterlife, the invisible cause of our spiritual existence. So our business principle is internal and eternal. We must live up to the reason for our existence. We must counsel ourselves, know ourselves, work on ourselves, correct ourselves, search out the meaning of ourselves, cultivate our spirit, nurture our growth, and invest in our share of the afterlife. So while we're here, we face problems that we've never seen before. So when this happens, we anchor ourselves to something so that we can think through the problem. There are always two choices. One is to put your head down and be used as a pawn in the great circumstance, as in, and the other is to lift your head up and pay attention in the fog of the war. So you map out what you see happening. You take a perspective. And I wrote terror rain. So the terrain is like the terror rain, and you need to take some time to observe so that you can navigate through all that and overpower your emotional responses by digging into the information mapping the battlefields. We start seeing the tree line, and we see the bog, and we see these sand pits, and we see the high ground and how it's different from the low ground. And then we can start making a meaningful decision, not through our emotions, because every choice is based on an emotion. It's like fear or the other emotion, many others. Because emotions distort our mission, and emotions distort our mission. Fear distorts our mission. Anger distorts our mission. And our mission is to map out this path before us. So we have to properly understand what's actually going on so that we can push ourselves ahead in one direction. So we pay attention to all source messages, intelligence messages, dream messages, signs, omens, because these are our trusted sources. We decrease the volume of the external reality and we slow down the speed of this external reality until the truth is revealed. So what's actually happening in the outer reality has already been preformed, and it's like when you drop the pebble into the waters, and then it forms one ring, and then the next, and the next, and the next, and the next, and then that wave, you're over here, bush, you get touch with it. So it takes time to actually find your way back to that pebble dropping position and what actually occurred to cause those ripples. So we're fighting against confusion. We're fighting against the same confusion we're trying to overcome. Now, I want to go here. As Lao Tzu teaches, all war is deception. Take open gaps, ask open questions, and they're sort of like a marker. So we fill in the missing spots ourselves and what we find out and what you got, and then we pass it on to someone else. We say, look, this is what I thought, this is what I see. I saw some gaps here and there, but I don't know these things. And we talk to people we trust, and we look beyond the noise. So we seek out their opinion, which helps us inform our own opinion. And every step of the way, and every step of the climb, we're learning from source. We learn from other people, we learn from the experience to solve the question of what is happening. The data itself doesn't tell the story. It's the way people connect the dots. It's like looking at the stars. One sees the pot, but another sees a helmet. We both see the pattern or our pattern, but from our own perspective of emotional awareness, we might make the dots connect that in reality do not. It's a distortion via beliefs. Now, I remember when I was a child, we used to get these cute little things, and it had all the dots on it, and you had to follow the numbers of the dots to actually draw the picture. And if you tried to go in a different way thinking you knew what the picture was, it wouldn't turn out as good or the same as what was actually on paper. Now so our plateau is actually what's going to be our foundation of truth. So when we get through the battlefield and we're on the climb to our plateau, we can post-analyze at our leisure and look back on what happened, and we can cross-reference it, and we can see the trends, and this is how we decode chaos. Right, so it's never easy to anticipate the future. At best, we are seasonal creatures, and it's best to plan for the season ahead. And every farmer uses his almanac of the moon's positions for planting and harvesting. And we too should use our astrological map, the one that we were born with. That's our blueprint, and we follow what's going on with the cosmos above right now, and because it's always influencing us. Circumstances change everything. The storm causes unexpected changes in ways we do not expect. It always does. This is our leadership season because the axis is in the Leo. It's not. It's in the Libra, and the Aries house. So we've got two leadership positions that we're in now. One is the I am, and the other is all of us collectively. It's actually the truth, all right? And I always thought the scales were like this, but I've learned that if I can do it, I'll use my glue stick. So we're supposed to have a planet here and a planet here-ish, and the balance actually is like this, which interestingly also shows the retrograde as well as the direct motion. So this is the balance. It's not stagnant. It's not still. The balance is a movement. It is a sway. I want you to realize that. So, in our leadership season, we're seeking to design our future. This is to be built by testing day after day so that it becomes flexible and anti-fragile. We live in the current, so we ask ourselves each day, which way are the winds blowing? And we build, we test, we learn, and we add to this and we take from that. We always consider insights from less conventional angles and different perspectives and align with the high level outline in the milestones it's going to take to get there. We kind of like mark them down. We avoid the swamp. We avoid the pitfall. We avoid the sand pit. Now, the design for possibilities of the unknown. Once we enter the forest, it's very hard to see the forest for the trees. But we do see the trees up close. And it is here that we rely upon our compass bearing for the climb. But now we can see before us what wants and needs and desires have been hiding in plain sight. Our wants are our ego, our desires are our heart, and our needs are our soul. So when we're in the forest and we can't see the forest for the trees, actually what we're doing is we're looking at the details, and it's important as well. So it's here that we make our bold decisions, our bold moves with our aspiration, the destination, and the reality of the terrain in mind. So we ask ourselves every day, how is my heart? We close our eyes, we place our consciousness, which is our spirit, into our vortex. The vortex is inside our heart. It's actually the vortex is how our heart pumps blood. All right, so it's actually a vortex. You can look it up. Maybe I'll put it in the comment section. I'm going to put a couple of things in the comment section. Now, so our inner star child lives in our heart, in the vortex. And our inner star child is like following us around. So it's observing us all day long. So we ask our heart, what do you want to move towards? Our spirit, our consciousness asks our heart, what do you desire? What would you like to move towards? And then when we will feel the answer, because the answer will make us happy. We will feel joy. Simple as that. We will feel excited. We will feel joy. And when we have our answer, we have to be brave and act in accordance with our heart. So our heart's desire doesn't mean that the whole world's in agreement with it. You might have a heart's desire and it makes you, happy, and no one else agrees with it at all. So it's either follow your heart or listen to the outside world. And if I was you, I'd stick with following my heart. This is my second Saturn return. I've already been and done the first one, and I followed fear, and fear obviously is not the answer. So, oh my goodness, it's very hot here. I hope you understood what I was saying. So, the compass is within our heart. Our heart knows the direction. Our spirit knows so much. Our spirit is amazing. I've had a couple of out-of-body experiences and I've learned seriously about our spirit. And So all we're basically needing to do is to get our bearings. So I didn't say about that, and I think it's important to add that to it. So we'll just pop that in. Now, to get our bearings is called casting a reverse azimuth. So the azimuth is the direction. It says to find out where you are, you point the compass in the north direction to the landmark. So where our landmark. Oh, in physical reality, it says Cathedral Mountain Tree. So you take your compass and you turn the compass so that north is facing the landmark where you're going. And when you're listening to your heart, of course, there's a different mark. It's a different mark. Now, if you have two landmarks, these two landmarks have an intersecting point of where you're at. Okay, so what they're saying is you direct your north to here, and then you look at the back end of it, and it will say southwest, something, something. And then you look at your another direction, and you put the mark there, and you put your north there, and it will say southeast, such and such. Now, the center of those two is equals your direction, which, let's just say it's south. Sorry I did it so easy. So that's where you're at, okay? So you're heading, you're south, but you're facing north, and you're heading in the right direction because you've positioned yourself into the position of where you want to go to put you into that northerly point that we're looking for, which people say is the North Star. They have different things. What is your North Star? It seems to be a new kind of a thing. Your North Star is not things like he who dies with the most toys wins, or it's a dog eat dog world, or whatever these old sayings that people used to throw at us. Life's a shit sandwich and then you die. Oh God, there's been so many things tossed at me. But anyway, none of them is true. Those people who say those sort of things might live by that kind of stuff. That's not where we're going. So we don't involve ourselves with that toxicity. No one eats a shit sandwich. And we just avoid it because, we're celiac. And we've got celiac disease, and therefore we can't have it in our body, in our environment, this sort of thing. We're allergic. Okay? So I want you to be allergic to a lot of stuff, like pitfalls. Now, I hope that this in some way helps us in our beginning. It's a great year, the year of the dragon, and it's the building of the dam, which of course, as we know, is not the water, but after the dam is built, it creates a reservoir of where the water will go. So we're damming the current of the waters of life this year only. We're doing something away from what everyone else is doing to create a better future. So in the Capricorn kind of epoch of the story, we are climbing to the top of the plateau. We are going to go through the forest. We're going to find some amazing things there, hidden in plain sight, of what we need, of what we want, of what we desire. And when we get to the top of our plateau at some point this year, the next point will be the building of a fortress, castle, structure, which is going to be our boundaries. Okay, so this is the imagination world inside us that we are creating here, a realm. And it's our realm within, so that we can lead others to also be great in spirit. Okay? All right. I love you all. Ka kite.